Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a wonderful Monday and had a wonderful weekend. Today we are in tune for the Industrial Sewing and Innovation Center. We were just there in Detroit a few weeks ago, so very excited for that presentation. But before then, I will pass it to our Executive Director, Matt Bogosian, for some updates. Matt, the floor is yours.
Great. Thanks, Michelle, and good morning, everyone. Welcome. It's June 24th, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, 9:30 Mountain, and 8:30 Pacific. We have some new folks on here. This is AMCC's National Weekly Call every non-holiday Monday. As Michelle said, I'm Matt Bogosian, Executive Director of AMCC. You have David Van Sickland here, our Operations Director, and lots of regional and national ecosystem leaders and collaborators working together to strengthen American manufacturing and the American project. I hope your summer is off to a good start. Hopefully a little cooler one as it evolves. For new folks too, we're a national nonprofit designated by the federal government as the nation's manufacturing community of practice, free, open source, where regional leaders from all kinds of public, private, nonprofit organizations work together to exchange best practices and strengthen all of our work. That means we all have to do better and be more efficient in the collaboration because we all have work to do in our silos. So please share your name and affiliation in chat, like David said, and use the chat. Let's add value to one another, ask questions, share challenges you face. We have a lot of folks here who can chime in and help, help each of us execute on smarter evidence-based policies. As we like to say, as the regions go, so goes the nation. So let's keep the momentum up and build some more. We have two flavors of calls, as we say. One is the round robin format, like we had last week, where the whole time we just talk about key items that are either in the AMCC update or other issues on your mind. By the way, if you don't get or have an AMCC update already and share it with your networks, get it, do it. David can help you on that if you need it. We always depend on your input for content on the AMCC update. If you can just point us to it, that's awesome. If it's not a round robin Monday call, then it's a Monday call like today, where we have a short presentation, like Michelle was saying, from a region or a BFF that we think can add value to your work in your region or in your particular subject matter silo. And today's presentation is from the CEO of the Industrial Sewing and Innovation Center, which is a pioneering nonprofit national resource for the manufacturing of soft goods. Their mission is to transform the textile and apparel industry through a human-centered approach to innovative manufacturing. And you might ask yourself, how do we learn about this innovation center? Well, it's from collaborations with many of you on these calls, bringing us useful items into the update or on these calls. Suggesting people we can interview on the Manufacturing in American Century podcast, or meeting people in person in regions across the country during our AMCC roadshows. Those are co-created roadshows. David can drop the chat about those roadshows, how you can get involved in those. Shout out in this case to Katie Stanson at Urban Manufacturing Alliance, who we've been collaborating together with for quite a while. She introduced us to the Innovation Center. For those of you who, many of you attended last October's Manufacturing Momentum Summit in Washington, D.C., led by CREC, our pals at CREC and DOD. You might remember Katie Stanton, who was there asking questions and offering important perspectives on how to enable DEIA in regional manufacturing. Well, after that, we've been meeting regularly with the Urban Manufacturing Alliance and Katie and our Michelle Burris of the Century Foundation. And Katie was kind enough to invite us to their urban manufacturing event in Detroit last month as a part of our AMCC roadshow visit to Michigan. So one of those activities was a tour of the Innovation Center that we're going to learn about today. And the tour we got then was by Chandler Vaughn, who's on the call too here, their Director of Development and Communications. It was a great tour. Thank you for that, Chandler. And of course, that quickly led to today with their CEO, Jen Guarino, to tell us more about their bottom-up model and how it might apply in other regions or with other types of products. So, Jen, welcome to AMCC, and tell us more about your Innovation Center and the model it represents.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Matt. And I just want to shout out to Katie Stanton from UMA for helping to, invite people to Detroit and to see what we're doing at Isaac. And Matt and David, it was great to have you here along with others that might be on this call that got to participate. I see a lot of other familiar names on here, so hello to everybody that I'm familiar with, and hello to people that we have not yet met. Really appreciate this opportunity to share what our model is. I think it's one that can transcend specific industries. So we're happy to share this with us today. So I'm just going to begin to share my screen and we'll get rolling here, and there'll be plenty of time. My understanding is afterwards for questions. So as Matt said, we are a national resource. We are a National Institute nonprofit that's based in Detroit. And our mission is to really transform the textile and apparel industry through a human-centered approach to innovation and manufacturing. A lot of words. What we want to talk about what that actually means. So in our early days, what we set out to do was to make sure that as we look for solutions for an industry that really needs it, is that it includes improving people's lives. Slides aren't advanced, sorry. Apparently my slides aren't advancing. Let me just see here why that's not happening. Let's see if I can just start over here.
You need to be in slides.
Apologize for that. I'm just going to open this up as a PDF, and that way I can be assured that I can advance it. So bear with me a moment.
No worries, Jen. This is a very informal gathering every week. So we have
okay. Good thing.
Yeah.
Good thing. All right. Okay, let's see if we can try this again. All right, can everybody see the screen okay?
Looks good.
All right, and did it just advance?
Yes.
Fabulous, we're back on track. Okay, so as I was saying, it's really important to us to ensure that people's lives get improved by improving industries. So at the root of everything we do, while we're constantly looking at innovation, we're also always looking at how it impacts people's lives that are engaging with these innovations and whose jobs rely on opportunities like this. 3 things to know about us. We really focus on sustainability solutions, meaning solutions that will take out some of the harmful practices that our industry has been following for many, many years. But most importantly, to ensure that the people that are involved in manufacturing get to live sustainable lives. We don't believe sustainable solutions are real unless they are not continually relying on sustainable lives. We're more than a factory. Yes, we are a factory. We do real manufacturing here, but we're a lot more than that. And what we do here is we show an environment that is really a different look at the space that manufacturing can take place in. So it's a beautiful place that was built out by Carhartt. It's got skylights, plants, music, natural lighting. It really does present a different environment that manufacturing can take place in. And then when we say that we really are people-centric and people power Isaac, We mean that on every level. So they're engaged. When I say there, our employees are engaged in solutions every day. So they are not told what to do. They're involved in how we do what we do and how we transform what we do. So these are the 4 things that are driving why we started Isaac, and some of these are very familiar to all of you. They're specifically true in our industry. So these issues here are specific to our industry. And in an industry that is very, very wasteful and very harmful, the solutions really are advanced manufacturing, changing the future of work, making sure that solutions are sustainable, and nearshoring or onshoring. So we're using a very innovative approach to finding and proving solutions that work. So what we do is we train on basic competencies, because we believe at the outset you have to have a very basic understanding of our industry. Then we pilot new innovations, and we're going to talk about how we do that. Then we upskill people into those new innovations, and we think that that simultaneous approach is very important because we think it speeds adoption. So often when you have a new innovation, you don't have the workforce ready, or even sometimes you can train ahead of industry that's not ready for it and they're misaligned. So we think those 2 things together matter. And equity through leadership, what do we mean by that? We mean that we have a manufacturing business unit where the employees in that unit actually go through leadership training and learn costing, financing. They learn what financials are. They learn what lean manufacturing is. They have an advisory board, and they actually share in the profits in that unit. So that's what we mean about equity through leadership. So we really share equity through our growth. This is the key that I think is important for today. On the left are all sorts of different programs we offer, but it's the one in the middle that we really want to talk about today because we think we've got a special sauce here. So what we do is we convene and bring together 3 components to run innovation pilots with the intent to de-risk a solution, prove it, and then be able to speed the adoption on behalf of industry. So, as you know, manufacturers often don't have the resources just to explore new ways of doing things. You know, most of us just don't have the resources to do that. So our institute is set up to be the workhorse for that. So what happens is we pilot a product. We do it with the most advanced manufacturing solutions possible. We actually manufacture those goods. So these are actually purchase orders for real product, for real brands, for real consumers. And we run it for a good amount of time until we have either proven it to work or not. And once it's proven to work, we actually package it so that manufacturers can install that solution and be a provider, in other words, a supplier for that product. So it happens a couple different ways. Sometimes a brand comes to us. So in our first innovation pilot, Carhartt came to us and they said, we've been making beanies outside of the country for many decades. It's our #1 selling item. We feel like that supply chain is somewhat at risk. And we said, all right, we're going to get busy. So we actually brought in innovation to show that you could actually make beanies in the US profitably while paying people above industry standard wages. We brought AI inspection, we brought custom automation, we brought a new workflow, and now for the last 1.5 years, we've been running a profitable beanie line. And at the same time, we have been developing training tools to show how you actually use that technology to run the line. And then our innovation partners are a series of them. We bring them to bear as we see fit. So if you can imagine this doing this over and over again, that's what we do. Sometimes the innovation comes to us first. So in the case of something called Variant 3D, it is an AI-based programming solution for already existing knit machines. And what it does is it takes out the need of paying an expensive programmer who, A, there's very few of them, B, it's very, very, very slow. And C, it's not an iterative process where you can just make a quick change and then, create a new program. So in their case, they came to us and said, we really want to showcase this. We want to trial it. We want to de-risk it. And we brought the customers. So it can come to us either way. What does it look like? What does the process look like? So someone inquires with us, again, either from the innovator standpoint or a brand or product standpoint. We look at what kind of financing it's going to take to run a pilot. Sometimes there's grants available. Sometimes it's in-kind services. Sometimes it's driven, in fact, most often by purchase orders. Then we begin to pilot. We really test the solutions, and it's pretty rigorous what we put that through. And then we train people. We really, really validate it. And then we start really producing at scale, and then we proliferate the solution. This is the process of our innovation pilots. We think it's a special sauce because industry needs to be presented solutions beyond being presented solutions at a trade show, where you're not seeing it, you know, at a booth with a video, not on real product, really truly bringing it through the manufacturing process. We are manufacturing based, meaning our leadership comes from manufacturing. So we are not theoretical, we're not academic, although we work with academic institutes. Sometimes they have really great innovations that need to be tested, but we're really fundamentally industry based. Our vision in the future is to have our training programs across the country, which in fact now are in, I think, 8 different states right now. It's also to have innovation pilots set up, not just in Detroit, but other facilities. So in some cases, it might make sense to run an innovation pilot with a manufacturer partner on the East Coast or the West Coast or the Southeast. And then to set up these franchise or licensed programs all over the United States so we can have a distributed network of manufacturers that can provide domestic manufacturing using the most advanced solution and ensuring that people are put first in that process. So I'm going to stop sharing and open it up for questions. How does that sound?
That sounds good, Jen. Folks can raise their hand. You know, one question that occurs to me. Oh, I see.
Let's see. I'm trying to stop the
Talinda,
sharing
I
here.
see Talinda's hand up physically. Yeah, there's also the button, the hand raising
Yeah.
button there.
I know, I never can find that. Anyway,
No worries. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
that is so exciting. I just have to let you know, you may already know, that in Utah, we received an EDA technical assistance grant to assess our cut and sew industry. And we just finished it before Christmas of last year. And in that analysis, we did a survey of the providers of cut and sew, the users, the customers for cut and sew, and the educators. And what we learned is that it's a growing business in Utah, but it needs to have a focus, and everything you're doing is what they need. So how can we work with you in Utah to implement this?
Talinda, I'll tell you what, you are our dream prospects because everything we do is within partnership. It's just, we're not looking to make money on getting a piece of the pie. In other words, we're not looking to get royalty, fees. That's not it. We have to do it with partners that have an ecosystem that's ready for us to help prove things out. So it sounds like we definitely need to have a conversation following this, and I'm thrilled to hear that it's been proven that it's a growing industry for you. I think we can be of real assistance.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen, can you talk a little bit about your business model in general? I suspect that's a question a lot of folks have.
But do we have her contact information? I just want to make sure I can reach out.
Both Jen and Chandler can drop their emails in chat. That would make sense. Yeah.
So our business model is really, we're a nonprofit, so you should know that. But we also have a manufacturing business unit that I reference really lightly, but it is the place that successful innovation pilots go to grow up, meaning we can be a contract manufacturer after something's been proven. And so I'm pointing it out because A, our employees get to benefit from that, but B, we can come into a region and show how these things can be successful. So we're even looking for potential Isaac satellite sites where we can bring our model into regions that could benefit from the model, where you're really, really running your own innovation pilots along with training and commercializing solutions. And that pretty much is that's pretty much the model. It's the convening of all these things in one place that is key. And it's the way you legitimize and get confidence in from the industry that yes, these things can they can work and they're worth investing in because that work has already been done.
And I should also say that one of the reasons EDA liked our proposal and then our project is because it can be cookie cutter to any other state or community. So if there's any state or community who's interested in getting an EDA technical assistance grant to analyze your region's cut and sew, let me know. Happy to send you our proposal so that you can
Oh,
see
we'd love that.
what was winning. Yeah,
We-
I think
we-
it was like 140,000. And I think we had a 20% cost share.
That's great. I mean, those are really important things. And I will say with the work that you're doing and other people that are doing this work, one of the keys is that, you know, when you have an innovation pilot like this, you bring customers with the innovation. So you're not creating innovation hoping that the customers come, which no manufacturer in the US can afford to do anymore. I mean, nobody can. So the idea is when we have this triangulation, the customer is built into the innovation pilot and they have an interest in growing solutions so that there's a reason to invest in something that has been proven.
Kathy Brown asked a good question in the chat about links of your work to the EDA designated tech hubs. And it really begs the question about all of the different regional federal agency interventions, like the defense manufacturing communities, like, Recompete, Build Back Better Regional Challenge, DOE MESC's work, in regions, et cetera. So, yeah.
So we applied for Recompete and let's just say Recompete was super competitive, so I mean, there were hundreds of applications with very few awards. And I think anybody who's in our industry can relate to the challenge of trying to present this as a high-tech industry versus low-tech. And so, you really have to prove that this industry is high tech, and we work really hard to prove that out. And largely, you got to do that through consortiums, as you all well know. So we look for opportunities to actually position this industry as high tech versus low tech, and otherwise to compete with, industries like, chip manufacturing or battery manufacturing. It's very, very hard to compete unless you can really, really make the case.
Right. And so we talked right before this call, Jen, about how your model could apply to other types of manufacturing industries. Can you speak a little bit about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I do think our model can apply because it is the principle of bringing things together simultaneously and de-risking them that is the important piece. You can bring people in to create training programs. You can create a space to do this. You can bring in customers, but you have to bring them all together at once. So I believe that is not exclusive to our industry. I think it can apply to industry, but it's doing those things simultaneously and de-risking them on behalf of industry that is the key. And I will say that you can make the case for grants or investors that you're investing once instead of all over in siloed ways. You invest once in proving this out. So the return on the investment, whether it's a grant or a true investment, explodes when you can scale it. So, and that's the case you can make, that it's a wise centralized investment that can then be scaled.
Well, this is awesome, Jen. Thank you so much for being on here. We usually do a few call outs to our AMCC update that goes out every week. But I wanted to make sure that there was plenty of time. David just put in for you, that is. David just put in the chat, you guys, that David, you want to say what that is and why it's important? Yeah.
Yeah, happy to, Matt. I'll just take a quick second, but if there are any other questions for Jen in the next few minutes, please put them in the chat or raise your hand. Every 6 months, we like to send out a new calendar invite for these Monday calls to refresh the list. I've got a little over 400 people to add to a Google Calendar invite for July through December. So you should all be receiving a new link tomorrow. My apologies if there are any challenges there. I'm sending it out through Google, so other email systems sometimes it gets a little wonky, but you should see that coming around midday tomorrow, and that'll replace your current Zoom link.
Yeah, it's great to thank you, David, and to everyone. It's great, Jen and Chandler, to have you guys on, and really hope you're here every week. You know, one of you or one of your team, because what you were talking about, Jen, is just kind of really consistent with the AMCC mission and why all these folks are here. We have a lot of BFFs from federal agencies. I was going to call out Ron Kelly from Treasury, who honchos the SSBCI work there, and you know, like I said, folks from several federal agencies. We just didn't have enough time this time, but we can have you back, and folks can connect with you offline. Both Jen and Chandler put their emails in the chat, so thanks for doing that. Everyone can always reach out to David and I on any topic. Want to leave room for any last questions or call outs if people say, gosh, you know, folks should have known about it this week. If you have that, please raise your hand or drop it in the chat right now. Otherwise, I will turn it back to Michelle Burris to close out the meeting.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Matt. And again, thank you, Jen and Chandler. It was really great being at the Industrial Innovation and Sewing Center in about 3 weeks ago in Detroit. That was wonderful. And everyone, we are wishing you a wonderful rest of the week. We will convene at the same time next Monday, July 1st, and we hope everyone stays hydrated and cool in the midst of this heat. So have a great week, and thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you again for having us. We look forward to seeing you all in the next meeting.
Thank you.
That's good. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Matt.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.